Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So we have a new DOKKANFEST TUR, my baby, Android21. Love to see that she finally gets a DOKKANFEST. They easily could give kind of like the bad 21 DOKKANFEST as well, right? Like she easily could get like a, kind of like a, well, I was going to say base form, but the base form for 21 is kind of like just her scientist form, but just like the, the transform version, but the evil version, and then she, eats Cell and transforms. Like they can make that a good animation, and that could easily be a DOKKANFEST in the future. Now, this year has been pretty rough on DOKKANFEST TURs. Now, I do want to make a point here. I'm doing DOKKANFEST TURs. Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito is not a DOKKANFEST TUR. I think I'm going to do a overall top 10 TURs and include DOKKANFEST TURs, EZA TURs, and then like, heroes and band units and stuff like that. And I will just tell you guys, Vegito is number one. I like Vegito over all TURs. The point I'm looking for with characters is, I would like a consistent performance, right? I'm not really looking to get seduced by, oh my god, once you transform a Super Trunks, he's ghost ushering and guaranteed critting and guaranteed guarding and guaranteed additional supering. Yeah, that's great, but I mean, you got 4 turns to get to, and you have to do 5 attacks before you can get there, right? Like, I want to realistically look at what the characters do, not what they might do, which is why I'm not as high, on Kale, because our Universe 6 ally, on Turles, on Trunks, on a lot of these characters, because in theory, yeah, dude, they're great, they're awesome, but once it's time to actually use them against the tough bosses, shit goes south. So, I mean, I guess we can just go ahead and jump in here. Again, if this was including Limit Breaker Vegito, I would have him as one, just if anyone is curious. We're going to start with Turles here. Now, I'm sure this spot will be controversial. Actually, let me just start. These types of lists, no one is ever going to agree, right? So sure, go in as hard as you want to on my list. It's fine. But outside of the top 3, I don't know that this really matters too much. It's only really the top 3, I would argue, who are truly exceptional. All the rest of the characters are heavily flawed in one way or another against the current content, right? A year ago, Gamma 2 and Path to Power Kid Goku would wreak havoc. Nowadays, some of these bosses have mechanics that could kind of really crush them. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, Turles, I mean, is certainly a victim of units around him being bad. That's a story we could write for Kale, Turles, Android21, Piccolo Jr. Like, you go down the list, and, like, all these units are cursed by having to run mid-characters next to them. That hurts Turles among some of the worst on this list. I do think, I mean, you need a little bit of luck, but Turles can be very good in the final phase against Omega. The problem is STR Omega is just a fiend. I still just see nobody talking about the STR Omega phase except for me, who is devastating. Turles can do some stuff. Again, I don't, like, I mean, are we going to put Super Trunks here with how much of a loser he is turn 1 through 4? No, not happening. I mean, we could do Kale. Transformed Kale, I would take, I mean, amongst basically any character on this list, but that would involve bringing a Universe 6 ally, and there's no Universe 6 ally that's even okay. Like, even LRK, I think LRK and Cleaver are terrible, right? That LR. Like, back in the day when they came out, they were the god among everything. Now, they got an EZA, they were mid as hell, and then they dropped Omega and Fusion's Monster, and now Kale and Cleaver are completely dead, right? Keep in mind that, in July and September, we got the 2 hardest fights in the game right now. So that's kind of like a cutoff point, right? Where, even a couple of months ago, maybe we thought some different things about some characters, but now the fights are just even tougher. We got Turles at 10. You could even make, I guess you could talk about Gamma 2. I mean, Turles is certainly better for Omega than Gamma 2, probably. But Gamma 2 struggles against all the toughest fights, right? Because of AoEs. It's just how he's designed. Maybe you could meme around and talk about PyCon or Fat Janemba or 17 and 18 at number 10. I mean, I could see it with the Ghost Ushers and the goofiness, right? So, like, with, like, PyCon or 17 and 18, it's like 17 and 18, maybe they start out in slot 7, they show up, turn 3, you ghost usher, you float them off, and then by the time they come back, the fight is done, right? And it's like all they did was keep you from getting hit on turn 3. I mean, that's still something, right? That's an argument for PyCon as well. PyCon at least has dodge. 17, 18, they do nullify Key Blast Super, so, and then Fat Janemba, I mean, can do some stuff. I've never been as high in Fat Janemba. I mean, 3 years ago, yeah, he was very tanky, but, I mean, we're not 3 years ago anymore. So, I don't know. People will argue about spot number 10 all day long. Knock yourselves out. I don't care. All right, number 9, 17, and 18. This, man. This character, we'll get to Android 21 in a second, right? And why I think people people have some valid thoughts on 21, but also I think they take it a bit too hard. 17 and 18, this character, this unit, is this the worst designed unit of the year? It might be. I mean, among DOKKANFEST, let's keep it to DOKKANFEST TURs. I mean, Super Trunks is damn, I don't like this. I think their design has got to be worse than Super Trunks, right? Because this is an Android character, right? Look at these links: Android, Assault, Infinite Energy. Like, they get big buffs from these links and shit like that. And then this unit is only good if you have a Goku in the turn. Goku, a character who will share, 2 links with them: Fierce Battle and Tournament Power. Maybe Shocking Speed if it's like UI Goku or something like that. Like, I don't really know what they were going for with this. This is ridiculous nonsense. This is foolish as hell. Maybe this should have been like a rep of, a Tournament Power ally, a rep of Universe. Dude, I don't even know. This unit is just in a rough spot because of that. Because, it's like 21 comes out, she leads the Android team. I'd love to use this character, but guess what? They suck without Goku, so there's no point. Then at their Rainbow Orb changing, I found, because their team is not like one of these big teams that has like the 8th anniversary LRs on it that are churning out mega damage, right? Like a lot of times that's when you have a team with the 8th anniversary LRs, they just do so much damage. Like, they're supering and critting and just doing huge amounts of damage. This team is going to move a little bit slower, their team, and their orb changing is only for 4 turns when they need 7 orbs, right, in order to get their full support. It's just bizarre. And then, I don't necessarily mind that they made Android 21 weak to Fusion Zamasu, because I think she is pretty good for Omega. But this character just sucks for both. This character is not good against Fusion Zamasu or Omega, so what is the point of them? If they're the 2 most meaningful fights right now, they suck in. I mean, it's frustrating. I don't think I would want to put like Super Trunks or like Kale above them or something like that, but this character is not spectacular at all. I just do not like what Dokkan has done with so many of these characters this year. Next we move the Path to Power Kid Goku. I could grab the next character too. I constantly am going back and forth. Path to Power Kid Goku and Yamcha. Like who do I want above who? Last year, Path to Power Kid Goku was certainly better than Yamcha. But as the bosses have gotten stronger, that means Kid Goku can be hurt much more easily now. So now Yamcha, with his dodging ability, becomes a bit more relevant. That's why dodging can be so important when it's on, a character's kit, like with what Yamcha has. It just means he's going to out-age other characters who have to rely on just tanking the hits, right? But Yamcha is a true dodge or die character. He's taken a lot of damage even from normal attacks. I don't really care so much that he could do a lot of damage in the really tough fights. Just doing a lot of damage is not like, oh, we won. Oh, thank God, man. Thank God for the triple crit, triple super from Yamcha. Like, that shit is rare. It's like you win when it's like, oh, he dodged the super. There we go. Like buying yourself time. So, Yamcha is fine, but again, he is a true dodge or die character. He would be so crazy if his mechanics worked a little bit different, right? Where he has a high chance to dodge, then he gets a 10% chance to dodge with every super attack he does. If that's stacked, this guy would be absolutely ridiculous, right? But the way he works, it's a separate proc. So, like, Yamcha will have your 50% chance to dodge. He'll have a chance to dodge based on how many super attacks you did on the turn. And then he'll have anything you have in the hidden potential system. And it'll be 3 separate procs that it'll work through, right? Now, Kid Goku, he can be effective against Fusion Zamasu because he is a physical character. So Fusion Zamasu opens up with those AoEs. Kid Goku could work with it for sure, especially if you're getting good with your orbs. I've found that physical Fusion Zamasu can really tear Kid Goku up. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is just a me thing, but I also have found it's a bit easier to hide against physical Fusion Zamasu compared to all the other like toughest faces of bosses in the game. I don't know if that's just a me thing with how my luck has gone, but it does seem easier to hide from physical Fusion Zamasu. I guess if he supers right away, his normals are like damn near 1,000,000 damage, which is really tough, but Kid Goku's effective. The thing about Kid Goku, he would be even effective and good in Omega, but I talk about it all the time. I'm very hesitant to bring physical characters in droves into that Omega fight because STR Omega is just, he's terrifying. If STR Omega opens with that super attack, you lose if you have physical characters because his damage is too much. Physical characters are not taking that. Like you're just done. So yeah, there's Kid Goku, there's Yamcha like that. Again, you can move these two back and forth. It doesn't really matter too much. Next, we have Gamma 1. Gamma 1 is solid. He's an effective character, but, I mean, remember, as the bosses get harder, Gamma 1 can live a lot of these attacks, but, I mean, living in many instances with Gamma 1 now is taking 500k, taking 400k, which is just, it's just so much damage to take. Again, Gamma 1 is strong, but, I mean, he has that buildup. Get hit to tank better is just not great. And that's, sort of kind of like, an ability that Gamma 1 does have here. I like him. I mean, he does have support. He does have a nullification that works against Fusion Zamasu. Obviously, that's very good. We've got him decently up on this list, but I'm not like the most confident in him ever. He's effective, but I wish he was a little bit better. All right, now we can grab the next two here. We'll grab 21 and Gohan and Piccolo here. Now it's funny. After using 21 quite a bit, I would say I actually have soured on her a little bit. Like my opinion of her has dropped a bit. But I mean, even still, I mean, I don't see myself moving her below any of these other characters. If Gamma 1 was even stronger defensively, sure, right? If Gohan and Piccolo were actually designed not by a blind, deaf, and dumb chimpanzee from the zoo, if they didn't design Gohan and Piccolo, yeah, maybe they could be higher, but I don't know. So we could talk about Gohan and Piccolo. This character has, I mean, again, to knock myself out, talk about terrible design all over on all these characters. Like that's the problem is, it's like rather than just like toning down the character's strengths a bit, like they like put this annoying ass shit in their kits. That's the problem. Like, most of these characters are just not fun to use. Period. You don't have fun using this character. You don't have fun using Turles. I don't have fun using Gohan and Piccolo, getting them obliterated. And 21 in most of the fights is not very fun. She's fun when she transforms, but again, just like Super Trunks, get to turn 5, buddy, to transform. You got a lot of turns to get through first. Now, this bullshit right here. This shit, I don't know what they were thinking with this. So they get 40% damage reduction if HP is 70% or more as the first or second attacker in the turn. The way this activates is literally when they attack. It's not. It's like when they get, okay, so if they're in slot 1 or 2 and they get hit, I think, or attack, and their HP is above 70%, it will lock in. So if Fusion Zamasu AoEs right away and they're in slot 2, and then when they get hit, they're above 70%, the damage reduction will trigger and stick for the turn, right? But if Fusion Zamasu opens with a super attack, hits your slot 1 character for 300k, knocks you below 70%, then does the AoE, it will hit Gohan and Piccolo, your HP is under 70%, and then they take max damage and you lose. It is ridiculous. It is so bad. I think it kills this character. I do not want to use this character at all because this character is so pathetic in base form. They cannot take a hit whatsoever unless you have perfect RNG. You guys might have perfect RNG. Oh, la 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 la. We bring LR Super Boo and Super Trunks and all these shit units and oh my god, it's so easy. Ha 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 That's fine. But for me, it doesn't work out that way. Fusion Zamasu will super slot 1, then I'll AoE, then Gohan and Piccolo are dead. They're buried in the dirt, and I've lost. Oh, good. And then I hear people go, oh, yeah, Gohan and Piccolo, they're so good. They're so strong. Just use them in 23rd World Tournament Goku. Yeah, except for they're dead in 2 seconds, man. Like, I don't think so. This unit would be real nasty if you could put them in slot 3 and trigger this without the fear of them absolutely dying instantly. If you could trigger, like, they give 60% support to, like, Superclass, Bond, and Master and Disciple, or Saiyan Saga allies. That's a lot. Dude, that's a lot. But it's just, they are just so weak. Just because this is a character that needs to revive does not mean you make them suck outright to get the revive. It doesn't. I don't know. Now, the thing is, why would they even be this high if all I have is negative things to say about them? It's because their revive is very strong and very easy to do, right? You know, the circumstances I explained are if Gohan and Piccolo were turn 1. Let's say they're turn 2 against Fusion Zamasu. Well, against Fusion Zamasu, you're certainly going to be under 70% HP. Like, he's going to do damage to you, and unless you play like I do, where your characters have a lot of dodge, like, he's just going to chip away at you. That's how it works. So you'll go into turn 2, they'll be under the threshold, and then you'll be able to revive. Now, as long as you have a Goku on the team, again, a good combo would be to use it with 23rd World Tournament Goku, for example. You know, then you swap into Kid Gohan. He could drop 20 million attack stats. He's guaranteed critting. He has guaranteed dodging his first turn, and then dodging. Like, Kid Gohan is pretty powerful. He does settle into kind of a dodge or die character, but as long as you have a Goku on the team, he's still a 50% chance to dodge character. Start a turn. So, you know, he can do some stuff, but I have found this character just sucks the joy from me using them, because I don't have fun just loading in and dying. And when you use Super Trunks and you use Kale and you use Gohan and Piccolo, I mean, even you use 21, 17, 18, you know, Turles, a lot of times, a lot of these characters you just load into death. It's like, oh, the fight started, the fight ended. Thank you. So I would prefer next year if we didn't just get like bullshit everywhere. Now 21, you know, she really is much closer to a lot of these other characters, Super Trunks and Kale and stuff like that. Like, she's way closer to them than she is to, like, the, you know, the top 3 who are actually good characters. Dude, people, let's just fill it in. People will piss on themselves to argue God Goku versus 23rd World Tournament Goku. Who gives a shit? They're both leagues better than everything else. It doesn't matter, man. You want to put 23rd World Tournament Goku in front of God Goku? I don't care at all. Who cares? Thank God that they are not losers, like the bottom of this list. I would put God Goku above 23rd World Tournament Goku, but, like, that's all people are gonna, like, when I drop this on Twitter tomorrow, all they're gonna talk about is probably, like, these two argued against each other. Who cares, man? It doesn't matter, because they're kind of in a spot to themselves. I think Piccolo Jr. is clearly number 1, right? I think these two are clearly kind of like 2 and 3, and then I think the rest of the list is clearly, like, below itself. Now, I say that. I don't think that that's enough to separate Piccolo Jr. into his own tier. I wouldn't say that, but it is very clear to me a bit of a difference, right? Like, Piccolo Jr. is kind of a little bit above. These two are neck and neck, and then, you know, you knock yourselves out with the rest of the trash, basically. Now, 21. She sucks against Fusion Zamasu. She's terrible. Like, fight starts, fight ends, right? So you might as well be using Super Trunks or Kale, right? It's the same thing. Just fight starts, you lose. But if you could transform with her, I do think Transform 21 is quite good. She's not as good as Transform Super Trunks or Transform Kale, of course. But I do think 21's base is much better than probably Kale. Well, yeah, because to talk about Kale's base form, that means we need to have a Universe 6 ally on the team, which means you have a Sidemen on the team, basically, right? So, I mean, that's why, like, 21, you know, you could kind of just use 21. And like she could be okay. Her transform state I found pretty impressive. We took her against Omega. She's pretty decent against Omega because she has type advantage in that second. I'm always complaining about how scary STR Omega is. She's AGL. She could work with that a little bit. And then I had her tank Omega's super attack for 200k. That is really good. That is very strong. There are a lot of moving parts to her, right? Does she get to attack first? She does get hit, get defense, and then the next attack will be her with her full defense. So, you would want her to get hit and then get supered, type of thing. But, like, she does have, well, I don't want to say, but she does have a lot of potential. She's got a lot of good stuff here. I do like the heals there, right? Because even with the best defensive characters these days, against the biggest bosses, the best defensive characters, you're taking 250k, 300k. So it's like HP regen, like 21 has, can be very handy, right? That's one of the nice things about EGL Carnival Goku, for example. Characters that have really high defense. We can make this point about 23rd World Tournament Goku, right? Later on in the fight, he can be rocking 1,000,000 defense. You get a bunch of tech orbs, and you're healing hundreds of thousands of HP just from getting same type orbs with 23rd World Tournament Goku. The thing with these two characters, by the way, is that they both kind of need... this guy, you must have a revive character for him. You must. God Goku, you don't, must have it, but he really, I think, is quite a bit better if you have, a Rainbow Orb Changer comboed on the team with him. Because he does create his orbs himself, but, again, it's with another Rainbow Orb Changer on the team that you're really going to unlock being able to get these orbs a lot. 6 orbs and he guaranteed guards. Keep in mind, it only takes 3 orbs and he has 60% chance to dodge. So people do talk about God Goku as though, oh, you don't get the 6 orbs, it's over. Well, no, because you have 60% dodge. So you actually still have a much better fighting chance with 3 orbs for this guy than you do with essentially the entire rest of this list below Goku, 23rd World Tournament Goku, right? So, I will take God Goku for sure. Do I need to talk about 21 anymore? Her team sucks, but, her team sucks. Gohan and Piccolo's team sucks. Gamma 1 team sucks. Yamcha's team is very good. Kid Goku's team is actually fairly competitive. 17 and 18's team sucks. Turles' team, well, it's difficult to say it sucks because he does lead pure Saiyans, but it does involve having double Turles. And, Big Bad Boss's characters are not exactly super good or prevalent on pure Saiyans. So, yeah, his team sucks as well. So it's all these characters' teams suck, basically, besides just the Earthbound Fighter leaders, Path to Power, Kid Goku, God Goku, I guess. It's rough, man. It's rough. The year of 2023, major celebration characters have been outstanding. Good designs, fun designs, strong characters, good leader skills, good EZA characters, good celebrations. The major celebrations have just been W after W after W this year. But a lot of the filler in between stuff is just crap. It's just unusable garbage. They've never made it easier to be a free-to-play player in this game. Why would you summon for 21 or Gohan and Piccolo or 17 and 18 or Turles? You have a problem. You gotta calm down. You pull them just so that they could do nothing for you. They're losers, right? You save for the big celebration banners where you have behemoths, that are new. And then their banners, the big celebration banners, oftentimes have really good featured lineups of the other characters too. So, Dokkan, they're only going to just tank revenue on these, monthly TURs if they're going to make them this bad. Cause what you get no value out of summoning for them. Very weird. So yeah. This is kind of how we are feeling. Let me just take a double glance. We got Piccolo Jr. at 1. Yeah, I didn't really talk about Piccolo Jr. much. I don't feel like I need to. I guess, my argument would be referring people to watch some of my other videos where he's around and he carries every video by himself. Every time I'm all right, we're doing some sort of Terrifying Conqueror setup or something like that, and the video could be about any other character, and it just turns into Piccolo Jr. carrying every single time. His giant form, his active, his strength, he's ridiculous. He could be susceptible to AoEs, but so can a lot of characters. I think people at a certain point need to kind of grow up a little bit and understand almost every character you're going to be getting slapped by the AoEs. You have to be really exceptional. Dude, 23rd World Tournament Goku takes damage from the AoEs right away, right? It's you dodge them or you have some, LR Golden Freezer or something like that to really be able to tank them. You're going to take damage, unfortunately, in these big fights, especially against Fusion Zamasu. The way around Fusion Zamasu is revive. That's why the 8th anniversary GT Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta are so important and why I don't understand the attacking that character. People waste their time going, the actual good characters criticizing them when we have bullshit. We have losers like Super Trunks out there. Why don't we just talk shit about him? We don't need to talk shit about God Goku or 23rd World Tournament Goku or 8th Anniversary GT Goku and Vegeta or Blue Vegito, right? Or Sword of Hope Trunks. None of them need to get shit talked about them. Talk about these losers. This bullshit here. These are the characters that suck ass. Most of them, besides the top 3. Again, 21, Transform, she's great. But, like, we could say about 50. Super Trunks Transform is great. Kale Transform is great. Like, yeah, get in line, 21. There's only 50 other characters we could say that about. So, let me know what you guys think. Here's the last list I made. So basically we just get 21 in and bump off Kale. I thought about it, like, would I put Kale, like, at Turles, at least it's like, we could link him next to, like, Mid Junior and have Big Bad Bosses, right, on some team. Kale, we have to bring a Universe 6 ally. I don't want to do that, because unless you get the God RNG, where the sea opens up and there's no attacks aimed at that Universe 6 ally, you lose. So, I'm good on that. Again, I mean, Super Trunks, he sucks. Maybe, honestly, like 10, if someone really wanted to argue a character at 10, it's got to be like PyCon or 17 and 18 or something like that, right? Like, or Tech Ultimate Gohan, I guess. Because a lot of this is just like, it's just crap. I could even get rid of a lot of these. Like, these don't need to be here anymore. Like, I don't need their picture, like, down here. Like, I could just clean out a lot of these, because a lot of these characters are just not. Like, they're not even legitimate options in the big fights anymore. And again, remember, we're talking about summonable Dokkan Fest, by the way. We're grading them against Fusions, Mouse, and Omega. Like, yeah, like, we're not grading them against, like, they're super good against the anniversary event. Like, yeah, I mean, they do have missions to that, but, like, the anniversary event bosses are supering for 1 million, right? Red Zone Goku Black is in 1.5 turn 1, so a little bit of a difference there. Yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys next time.